Okay, as can be seen, I've got a BSA A65 engine in pieces here. It's from a late oil in the frame model, and if the reading on the speedometer can be believed, it's showing 15,000 miles, and it's in quite presentable condition, the bike. Possibly partially restored, but maybe just a nice original one. I'm not quite sure at the moment, because everything seems to tie in with the 15,000 miles. We've got standard sized big end journals and shells, which they're not worn out, but I'm going to replace them, and I'm going to take the crank up to see if it might need a polish. I don't think it'll need a regrind, but it may do, but certainly a polish wouldn't be a bad idea, so we'll get that looked at. But the reason that the engine was stripped in the first place was because of the large amount of play in the often maligned timing side bush, which in the case of this one is in very worn and rough condition. So we're going to have to get this ground to an undersize and a new timing side bush matched to it and fitted. Not a problem, we've done quite a few of those. But I thought I'd make this video because of the 15,000 miles and the standard sized big end journals, and also the standard sized original BSA pistons. All these things seem to point at the 15,000 miles being genuine, and just out of interest I opened up the sludge trap, well, you would do anyway, to check in there and clean it, and it's almost half full, that chamber. Now I don't know what the maintenance history of this bike might have been, but I would put money on perhaps the oil changes not being attended to as often as they might, and the servicing not being as good as it ought to have been. I can't really see, I know that these have got a reputation for wearing out fast, but 15,000 miles to get as much wear on the timing side journal as that, and all that muck in the sludge trap, seems a little far-fetched to me. And there is a lot of wear. As we put this on here, it's actually there's a sort of tight spot. There's one little ridge in there which is unworn. See that step? Get it on there, and it actually shakes and flops around a lot, so that's why the engine was stripped. We'll deal with that. But this is just for my own reference, and maybe anyone else who might be interested. I strongly suspect that that engine has done a genuine 15,000 miles, and this is what we've got. I haven't looked at things in the top end yet. I haven't even checked the bores or the piston ring gaps or valves or anything, but the pistons seem quite clean, and everything seems to point at 15,000 miles on the clock being genuine. But that sludge trap, like I said, is half full at 15,000 miles, so you can draw your own conclusions there. I just thought that I would share it, as there's probably not many of these about with what looks like a probably genuine low mileage, and just opened up and checked over, and this was the state of things, so I thought I'd share that. My next move is to get that sludge trap cleaned out and take the crank up to the guy I go to for regrinds and polishing, etc. Get it all put in order, and then hopefully it won't be too long before I'll be able to order some parts and get it all put back together and put back in the bike, which we'll hopefully see back together and running nicely sometime in the future.